Hello, welcome to Captain Dorja's Armory. This is Captain Dorja, and those of you who actually watch my channel will know that a couple days ago I put up a video and announced that I'm going to be going to sea for 70 days. Well, it turns out I won't be going to sea for 70 days because my foot has an infection. So, that sucks. But, good news is, I want to try and get back into this game a little bit, and so, well, I'll be here, so that means that I actually should be able to do that. And so that brings me on to the next topic. I only played a few games last night because I was super tired, but one of the ones that I played was completely epic, and it was a game that I played with this little guy right here, the 5916. The 5916 is, you can see it right here in the tech tree, it's a Tier 6 Chinese light tank, leading up to the WZ-131 and the WZ-132. This tank is well, it's an interesting tank for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's got a 76mm gun with an autoloader, but the gun is actually pretty crappy. The problem with it is its penetration is so low. You can see it only has 85 penetration and 106 on the premium ammo. But the strength of this gun really is that the 5-shot autoloader is able to unload its 5 shots really quickly, and you can then reload the autoloader quite quickly as well. So when you have a target under your gun that you can actually penetrate, you can do quite a lot of damage with a 5916 pretty fast. But in a lot of ways, it's really not the best light tank out there. The way that I usually try and play this tank is I try to bush scout with it, but I'm not a very good bush scout. I don't really know the good bush locations. I'm not like a light tank expert or anything. I basically dabble in light tanks, so the finer points are lost on me in a lot of cases. But anyway, like I said, I have this tank set up as a bush scout, so I run improved ventilation, binocular telescopes, and a camouflage net, and I have a crew with a 76% camouflage on them to just try and make it easier to remain hidden while sitting in bushes. Quick rundown of the stats on this tank. She's got 580 health, which is, not too bad. It's not a lot of hit points, but it's not like super low. Basically, you have about the same health as an M18 Hellcat. Tank weighs 16.9 tons and has a 430 horsepower engine, which gives it a power to weight ratio of 25.44 horsepower per ton, which is a pretty good, that's a pretty good power to weight ratio. This tank accelerates pretty well, and it maintains speed pretty good. It's quite agile and quite maneuverable. You can see a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour and a traverse speed of 54 degrees per second. As you would expect on a light tank like this, you have no armor whatsoever, so, don't expect to bounce any shots ever. Turret traverse speed 48 degrees per second, nice and quick. View range 380 meters and 750 meter signal range. That's pretty useful when you want to do the spotting rolls. You have a 380 meter view range, so when you add binoculars to your view range, you're actually getting a pretty good bonus. 380 meter view range on a tank like this is actually pretty long, so you have that going in your favor. Now, largely due to the low gun penetration on this tank, it is not the easiest tank to play as like a light attack tank. A lot of people like to play their light tanks as a light attack tank, and tanks like the T-21, which get the M1A2 gun. The M1A2 gun has 128 millimeters of penetration. That's more than the 5916 has with premium ammo. So when I say the penetration on this tank is low, I mean it's low. It's like something you would have on a tier 4, maybe even a tier 3. So that makes it difficult to play the light attack tank with this vehicle. And a lot of the times when you're not bush scouting with it, one of the most effective roles he can play is the counter scout, to try and find the enemy scout tanks and kill them, because they don't have any armor, so your low penetration is not much of a problem, and they don't have much health. So you can drive up to a enemy scout tank and do five quick shots to them with your autoloader, and that's about 600 damage. And you can either kill them or leave them on very low health. Usually you can put them in a position where they have to retreat, or where a teammate easily kills them. And once the enemy scouts are gone, you can bush scout. The other thing where this tank really excels is when you get an opening to go and attack enemy artillery. This tank is an excellent artillery assassin, as before, because of its autoloader. So if you drive into the artillery park and they've got 2 artillery there, each artillery's got 250 health. You shoot each one twice and they both die. You got one shell left in your autoloader in case one of the arty takes an additional, like a third shot to kill it. And boom, both the enemy arty are out of the game. You reload your autoloader in like 10 seconds or 15 seconds or something, and you're off scot-free. So when you get the opportunity with the 5916 to break into the enemy artillery, it's usually a very bad day for those arties, because this tank is a really good arty killer. Now, we've been in the garage for quite a while, looking at some of the attributes on this vehicle, so I think it's about time that we jump into the battle, because this battle was pretty fun. Alright, so we're loading into the battle in the 5916, and you can see it's a tier 7 battle. There are 2 tier 7s on my team and 3 on the enemy team. We have a Tiger and a tier 7 French artillery. The enemy team has a T-29, an AT-7, and a Soviet artillery. Those are the tier 7s. And after that, aside from artillery and 1 tank destroyer on my team, every vehicle in this match is a tier 6. So this is odd matchmaking for this tank, because it's rare where you get a match that's so many tier 6 vehicles, but that doesn't really change the nature of the tank that much, because it doesn't mean, just because these are mostly tier 6s, doesn't mean this tank suddenly becomes god mode assault tank. Because if I were to engage frontally with a KV-1S, which is not a very heavily armored tank, it's still going to be very difficult for me to penetrate. So I'm just trying to take a conservative early position and try and bush scout. And mostly what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to detect anyone that comes into this area. And you can see we've spotted the T-29 and the T-21. Now the T-21 is in a really crucial location. You can see him going down into that dip up there. And that's a location where we need to get that guy out of ASAP. Because if he stays in there, he's going to be able to spot our entire push. And enemy artillery and long-range snipers are going to just wreck him. Like you can see them wrecking that friendly Tiger, who's basically been taken completely out of the action in a minute and a half. So I'm still just, sitting here trying to see what I can do. I can see this enemy Cromwell. I was thinking about firing at him, but I don't really want to reveal myself. But when I sight on this Hellcat, I decide that I can actually shoot at the Hellcat and probably take him out quick enough that it's worth it. And also, since the location I was sitting in was now behind the front line, engaging that Hellcat. You know, it's not like I was giving up a good spawning position to engage that Hellcat. So, we knocked out the Hellcat, bounced off the side of the AT-7 twice, and now we're just trying to get out of there because I don't want to be doing like a lot of frontline combat with this tank, and you can see that that flank is failing very, very rapidly. We're down 4 tanks to the enemy's 2. We're down 5 tanks to the enemy's 2. We're down 6 tanks to the enemy's 2. The enemy T-21 is just pushing straight into our tank destroyers and artillery, and the T-29 and the AT-7 are pretty much completely free to just maraud right down the middle. So you can see in chat I just wrote GG. I'm thinking we're pretty much screwed. But just because we're down doesn't mean we're out. So the Lorraine managed to kill the T-21. That's good news. I'm trying to sneak around into the woods, and a wild Cromwell appears. Cromwell is dispatched with contempt by our M6, and our 3601H manages to take out the AT-7. So that's good. Getting rid of that AT-7 was definitely really nice. We're managing to pull a little closer here, and you know, I'm trying to push into the, still trying to push into the woods here. Just looking for the enemy artillery. Now I've decided that since I knew most of the enemy tanks were either attacking through the center or attacking down the west flank, that making a approach down the like easternmost border of the map was probably going to be completely safe. And as you can see, I was right. So I've just dumped my entire autoloader, but the enemy artillery is missed. So I'm just going to reload. You can see that the autoloader on this tank reloads pretty quickly, and we're able to finish off that SU-14-1, backing up into position to kill the SU-122A. And honestly, I'm not even sure if he's pointing his gun at me or not, but I stopped to aim to make sure I can kill him, and we managed to take out the enemy artillery. So just reloading the clip. Just for anybody who doesn't know, on a tank with an autoloader, if you want to reload your clip while it's partially empty, you just, by default, push the C button. So at this point, I'm trying to get our 3, basically everyone who's not me in that Lorraine, I'm trying to get them to go back to the base, because that's really where they're needed. The M6 and the KV-1S are likely to be in the base. We know the AT-8 is in the forest. He actually just killed the M6. That's not good. So really, you know, I'm thinking pretty much everybody is going to be down where this KV-1S is, and all we have to oppose them is artillery. And that's really not a good situation. So the KV-1S has knocked out our guerrilla, and we spotted the M6 in the middle. Now what I do here is, the M6 is showing me his back while he engages our 2 mediums, and he's on lower health. So I'm going to engage the M6 because my chance of actually being able to kill him is much, much higher. Now, I didn't get the kill on the M6, but I did put some good damage into him, and the 3601 takes him out. So you can see here I've loaded a clip of premium shells, and you can also see that I'm down to only 26 rounds of ammo left. There you can see my premium shells bouncing off the rear of a KV-1S. I just put 5 shots into that KV-1S, and only 2 of them penetrated. Luckily, we set him on fire, and we have a quick reload, so we're still able to secure the kill. So again, I'm down to just 19 shells. And at this point, I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? I'm in the 5916, which is kind of a piece of junk. Even in a match like this, it's not the best tank out there. And I'm a bad light tank driver, and I'm going carry mode, like, WTF, mates. So, like, what is going on? I parked myself up in that bush just for a minute while I'm typing, but also just to, just in case the AT-8's feeling ballsy and is moving out of the woods. So this right here was a pretty gutsy move. I'm going looking for that AT-8. Now, the AT-8 is well enough armored that even with premium ammo loaded, it's going to be hard for me to penetrate him anywhere unless I can stop and find him on his weak point. And with him detected like this, I can't even tell which way he's facing. So I'm just going to keep moving, and luckily for me, he was facing the other way, and our artillery managed to hit him down to 3 health with, a really nice, quick shot. So we're able to put one shell through the rear of the AT-8, securing our 6th kill and Top Gun. So now we just have to find the Churchill gun carrier. He was last spotted right near our 2 mediums, so we're all just hunting the Church GC. I've got a full clip loaded, and I'm ready to roll. As soon as he's spotted, we're going to start dumping shells into him. And I actually stopped to fire because we get him side on, and there was a possibility that I could one-clip kill this guy. So I'm holding my fire until I'm on the side. Managed to drop him to only 26 health. Accidentally ram our Type 58 and the 3601. Secures the kill on the Churchill gun carrier. And we managed to pull a pretty good come-from-behind victory. So, just props to the Lorraine 55 and the 3601. Really, really good players. Both of them played really, really well. So the three of us together were basically able to save this match from failure. Really, really fun battle. Now let's take a look at some post-battle results. So, post-battle results here. Obviously, this was a really good result. We managed to get Mastery Badge Ace Tanker. Always nice to get another Ace Tanker. Also got the Pascucci's medal for killing the 3 artillery. If you're a fan of Quickie Baby, you'll know that he refers to that as the Counter Scumbag medal. So yeah, I like getting a Counter Scumbag. And Top Gun. Yeah, I'll take a Top Gun in a 59-16. I can see the impact we did here. We had 1,500 spotting damage and another 2,000 actual damage dealt, including a little bit of spotting to the T-29, to the AT-7, as well as some tracking on him. Spotting damage to the SU-14-1, plus killing him and shooting him again. KV-1S managed to take him out with 4 shots and a fire. M6 managed to take him out, or do damage to him. Got a 617 spot credit on the AT-8. That AT-8 attack was risky because with a 59-16, even with premium ammo on the rear of the AT-8, you can empty an entire clip and do no damage. It's pretty likely. So attacking that guy knowing he was probably at full health and not even knowing which way his gun was pointed, that was very risky. 13 for the Church gun carrier, that's no big deal. 127 on the SU-100. So we were actually able to do some pretty good spotting there. Third in damage on our team behind the Lorraine and the 3601, and I actually did more damage than any member of the enemy team. So, an SU-100, a KV-1S, he wasn't upgraded, so I guess that cut him a little bit of slack. But, tanks like this, Hellcat, SU-100, KV-1S, T-29, getting out damaged by 59-16, it's just shame on you. Shame on you. Yeah, that was something incredible. So you can see 32 shots fired, 25 hits, only 19 penetrations. I fired quite a few premium shells, but I'd actually just decreased my premium ammo supply, so I had some in the depot, which kept my ammo cost down. 4,556 credit or experience for the double, so that's really good. And 23,800 profit. So yeah, that was just a absolute monstrous match in the 59-16. That one, this tank, I'm not very good in it, and it's a hard tank to do well in. So that match was just incredibly satisfying. So I hope you enjoyed this light tank battle, and until next time, guys, just remember, you can never have enough big guns.